Welcome, everybody, to the Comedy Workshop. We are here. We have a good lineup for you guys this evening. I'm JD. I'll be your host. This is my third time hosting. We got Wardy from Quebec. We've got EJ from North Carolina, and we have Kelso in Vietnam. So I'm just going to give everybody a minute to introduce yourselves. Go ahead, Wardy.
Introduce myself?
Sure.
I'm not sure what to say. I'm originally from South Africa. I'm based.
How long you been doing comedy, stuff like that?
Hey?
How long you been doing comedy and stuff like that?
Okay. I've been in comedy for about 3 years, and really enjoying it. I started it as a retirement project, and really enjoying it and having a lot of fun. And I've been living here in Quebec for half my life, and hopefully the comedy clubs are beginning to open up, and we'll soon be on live stages again.
Awesome. EJ?
Yeah, EJ Masicampo. Been doing comedy for 2 years on the heels of a divorce. So it's been fun.
Shooting in the face.
No, it was good. It was a very smooth separation, but I needed, I suddenly had a lot of free time, and this was it. This was the thing. I've been doing it pretty steadily for the entire 2 years, all over North Carolina and elsewhere. And I love these workshops. Great way to be creative and productive.
Awesome. Kelso, is this your first workshop?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Actually, my name is Kelso. They them. I live in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and I've been doing. There he is. I do comedy with my pal Jeremy here. I've been doing comedy for about stand-up comedy for 3 years, but I do have a theater background, this is my first time doing a workshop that is sort of like this. It gives you a topic, and I'm like, I don't know what this is going to be like, but I'm going to try it.
Absolutely. And the man who needs no introduction, Jeremy. What's going on, Jeremy?
Oh, thank you. What's up?
What's going on, man?
Hello, Kelso.
Hey, Jeremy.
So I'll just give everybody a chance to introduce yourself. So if you want to introduce yourself a little bit to the crowd.
My name's Jeremy. I'm an alcoholic.
Wrong show.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys.
So I'm JD. I'm in Kentucky. I've been doing comedy about 3 or 4 years. I'm gonna say 3 years because I lost a year with COVID. Guys, this is the comedy workshop. We're all going to be here, try to work on our funny, try to be funny. With the open, no holds barred. Anybody can say anything in an effort to be funny. We're not trying to, hurt anybody's feelings or offend anybody. So let's get that out of the way right now. Kelso, I wanted to say right now, if I mess up your pronouns, I apologize in advance. I'm not doing it intentionally. So just let them know that I will do my best. Okay, I promise.
Oh no, thanks for saying.
Okay. So the way I like to do it is I like to go from just around the clockwise. We'll start with Wardy and go around to Jeremy, back to me. Guys, I like to be attentive and everybody give good feedback. And, we're all in this together trying to be funny and help each other. And I think it's a great thing, having this camaraderie among comedians helping each other. And it's so much different, from when we grew up or, comedians were at each other's necks. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really cool that we have this community with this workshop to help each other. And Wardy, if you're comfortable going first, you can give us your topic and you'll have 3 to 5 minutes and it's all you.
Okay, thank you, folks. Now, I've been asked to talk on orchestras. Now, I associate orchestras with classical music, of which I'm not very fond, I'm afraid. And I'm in total awe of musicians and their skills, because I'm not in the least bit musical, and I hardly have any sense of rhythm. I probably wouldn't be able to play one of those silly triangles in the orchestra. I'd probably ting it at the wrong time, right? Now, I gather some schools here in North America have their own orchestras and bands, right? And the poor sods who sign up for those things are called orc dorks or band nerds, right? Now, when I went to school, we didn't have either of those, and we had to, but we did have to learn to play the recorder in primary school. Now, people sensibly stopped playing the recorder during the Renaissance, but somehow, for some reason, it was resurrected during the 20th century, right? Because it was seen as an educational device, and one that Wikipedia called produces a clear and sweet sound. Now, if ever you've had to sit through a school concert where a class of 8-year-olds are trying to play Three Blind Mice on their recorders, those are not the adjectives you would use, right? And while I'm not keen on classical, I'm even less keen on opera. That's also played by orchestras. I'm also not that keen on jazz, but I do understand the significant political significance of jazz, okay? But my non-musical brain cannot make any sense of it. All I can see is different musicians playing whatever they want and not integrating with each other. But friends of mine try to educate me, right? And they drag me off to this Ottawa Jazz Festival. And I discovered that they have there are a number of different types of jazz, right? The three main categories: boring, annoying, and repetitive, right? And there's subcategories like super boring and extremely annoying, right? But I also dislike mood music in movies. Now, I understand when you used to have those silent movies, they used to have an orchestra playing music to help people understand what's going on. But I don't understand why we have to have mood music today. You know the sort of music I mean? Like there's something bad's going to happen to you music. You know, that plays as a hero is heading down a blind alley, right? Now, why would they head down that alley when that music is telling them it's dangerous, right? If I was swimming in the sea and I'd hear do, 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 I would pull a Jesus, right? I wouldn't just walk on the water, I would sprint. But back to orchestras and types of music. Each to their own music, I say. But one has to be careful about what type of music you play for what occasion. Okay, so for example, if you're a what should I say, a couple choosing what music you want the bride to walk down the aisle to, be very careful. Listen to the words. You may be a Rolling Stones fan, but don't choose. You can't always get what you want, right? And if you're into country, God knows why, but practically any country song is inappropriate. And the least appropriate song, I reckon, in country is Paul Overstreet's song, She Just Loves Me for My Willie. Now, admittedly, he's singing about his Willie Nelson CD collection, but still, it is inappropriate, right? And even worse would be punk is clearly out, obviously. Like, you certainly wouldn't want, for example, Sum 41 to say, over my head, better off dead. Even worse would be U2's I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Much as I hate to say it, maybe orchestra playing classical would be the safest bet here. Thank you.
All right. So we'll start the same way order for feedback, and we'll start with EJ, and we'll just work our way around. Hey, before we get started, looks like Joe has joined us. I guess there must have been a little bit of confusion. Everybody say hi to Joe. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Joe.
You get a chance to introduce yourself. Once we get to you, man, you can tell us about you and all that stuff. So, EJ, go ahead with your feedback, and we'll just go around and.
Yeah, loved it. I don't have any specific new angles or tags. I just want to say that I love the just the opinions of hating orchestras, classical music, jazz. So yeah, I just very interested in hearing more about that and really feeling the emotions and frustrations with those things and hearing what you do like and contrasting that. I think that's a lot of fun.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What else to do? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say something similar. Is that there is so much hatred that you have for it, which I found quite funny. I wonder if there's room for. There's a point in it where you say the categories. I really like that. Annoying. I can't remember what the second one was, and then it was like repetitive.
Boring, remorse.
Boring jazz.
Yeah.
Boring.
I think that was really good. And then you say the subcategories. I think is a really good angle. But I wonder if there's room to change those to something else instead of making them the same. Because then you say extremely boring.
Right. Yeah.
I wonder if there could be. I don't know like what those words could be, but something even more fucking terrible.
Right. Sure. Thanks.
Yeah, that's all.
Right. Thanks.
Oh, I don't know. I wrote a bunch of things down, but they all look dumb now that I read them. Like, we don't see people in the orchestra playing the recorder, trying to shake the gum out of the end of the recorder. I just remember those recorders in class had gum in them all the time, or boogers. Somebody who picks their nose and puts them in the end of the recorder, but somebody did it. I don't know. It figures. I don't know, but to me, I always think of like the jazz players. They're always like the old woodshop teachers that are missing a finger. I mean, at least the trumpet players, because they only need really 3 fingers. And I think if Jesus was walking on water, he'd have his own theme music. So there's that as well. And then the perfect wedding song, another one, Bites the Dust by Queen.
Oh, yeah.
And then nothing more heavy metal than when you go to like a Metallica concert and they're playing with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That's metal.
Oh, yeah. Great.
All right, Joe.
Do you want notes from me, or do you want?
Yeah, just give your feedback right now. When you get to you, we'll let you do the introduction.
I did. I mean, I did come in the middle. There was a lot of chaos going on as I was getting pulled in. But one thing I did definitely notice is you're talking about these things you don't like and can't stand, but you were doing it in such a way that you were really searching for the best way to explain yourself, not to just get that hatred and that just anger about these instruments out there, but like to really explain why, so that we understood your point, which for something that you were so angry about is like very considerate.
Yeah, I found it a really difficult topic to talk about.
So, Jim Bob, did you get to hear any of that?
I heard the last little bit.
Do you have any feedback?
I think the part I heard was great.
Okay, awesome. So I wrote down just a few notes, man. I think started out, you talked about how you hated the orchestra, but you could really see the talent that it took to play the tuba, the flute, but you were mesmerized by the triangle. I think that would be fun. Right? In the middle, you kind of lost me. I think you kind of went to a TED Talk. I was looking for the punchlines, and I really wouldn't picking them up. If they was there, I just missed them. You was talking about the categories of jazz and orchestra as boring, annoying, and I couldn't hear the last one, but I wrote down boring, annoying, and I want to shoot myself. And the subcategories are I want to shoot my neighbor and I wish I was deaf. And that's the notes that I had down for your
great, thanks.
orchestra.
That sounds like a country song right there. Like, I tried to shoot myself and I missed, and now I wish I was dead. Or I tried to shoot myself and I hit my neighbor, and now I wish I was dead.
Gotcha.
I feel like I missed something good.
So let's let the two late shower-uppers introduce themselves. Joe, we'll start with you.
Wait.
Joe, we'll start with you. Introduce yourself, man.
Oh, hi. I'm Joe Harmon. I am based in Kansas City, Missouri. I got involved with this through Kevin Eggleston, who both of us are grantees for the Steel City Arts Foundation Martin House. So I'll be moving out of Kansas City pretty soon and be in Pittsburgh for 9 months working on that with Kevin. So
Nice.
Awesome.
Kinds of great.
Congratulations.
And Jim Bob, introduce yourself, please.
Hey, I'm Jen Bob. I'm,
I hope you're from West Virginia. I swear with a name like that. Go ahead.
I'm from Calgary, originally from Ontario. So I got a little bit of American accent because of close proximity to Detroit, but now I'm all yeehaw. It's weird.
Yeah, I picked up on that right away. So how long you been doing comedy, guys? Jim Bob, how long you been doing comedy?
In total, it's been about 6 years, but in practice, about a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay. And how about you, Joe?
I have only been performing for a little over 2 years. I started as a volunteer for a annual fundraiser for an autism summer camp, and started with big shows doing fundraisers, and I've never played for less than like 120 people.
Wow.
Good deal.
But at the same time, I've only done like 6 or 7 live performances. So
Right. Cool. All right, EJ, you are the man. You got it going on. Tell us your subject and get it going.
Cool. So I have the word substitutions.
All right.
And I don't have a whole lot. So here I go. I end up having a lot of meat substitutes because I am a vegetarian. I used to not tell people I'm vegetarian because of this thing I have where I want people to like me. And it's tough being vegetarian in the South. I recently ordered a broccoli salad. It was half bacon. How was I supposed to know a broccoli salad was going to be half bacon? The worst part of that wasn't even the bacon. It's that sometime soon I'm going to be at another restaurant and in front of everyone. I'm going to have to look the server in the eye and say, I noticed you have a side of carrot sticks on the menu. Is that vegetarian? That's that's annoying. My friend explained to me afterwards. He's like, "Oh yeah, you could tell it had bacon in it because it wasn't a side of broccoli; it was a broccoli salad." Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with in the South. Salad is another word for meat. It's insane. My kid's mom and I are both vegetarian, and a lot of people ask us if the kids are vegetarian, which I think is a clear indication that the person asking that question is not sold on vegetarianism. It's like, you and your kid's mom are both Jewish. That is super cool. You're not raising your kids Jewish, are you? I'm vegetarian partly because I don't want to be butchering animals for a meal. A lot of people are vegan because even the egg and dairy industries involve poor treatment of animals. But I would never, I could never do vegan. I'm already letting the cows live. I don't care if they're stressed out. Like that. I'm sorry, this is America. Like I work, I'm also getting milked. Let's see. You scratch my back, I scratch yours is what any good person should say when you've given your friend a rash. I do have kids. Their mom ended up having to find a surrogate romantic partner. Yeah, she's with Aaron now. When I can't be there for my kids, I hire a babysitter, which is just a substitute parent. When my kids can't be there for me, I'm gonna hire substitute kids. Just make a post on Craigslist. Yeah, hi, my son sucks at basketball. So I'm looking for a 9-year-old. Must know how to spell horse. That's all I wrote.
All right, good. So we'll keep the same order. We'll start with you, Kelso.
It was really good, very punchy. The talk about like veganism, vegetarian, always a hot topic. sometimes I wonder if there's room for reaction, how people react to when you say you're a vegetarian. Because I find that a lot of people will then they start to feel bad, like you're shaming them, but you're not really. You're just telling them what's up. I wonder if there's room to play around with that in there. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. Thanks.
Yeah, really good though. Really good. I really like the looking for the kid. Sorry, the 9-year-old.
Thank
Second
you.
Still Horse. I think that's my favorite.
All right, Jeremy.
It's weird how people, when they stop doing something, they need a substitute replacement, like vape cigarettes or lesbians and dildos or fake meat and vegetarians. That's just weird to me. And I like the milk reference. That was good. Good job.
Thank you.
Joe.
I really like how, like, just in your delivery, I like how you are so subtle with your misdirections. And one thing I really liked was the audacity to compare being vegetarian to being Jewish. And I think when you have bigger crowds, really just general audiences, you're going to be able to find a way you can play with them a little better with that, of like how long you wait to just let it sit there, that like you compared those two things.
Cool.
Jim Bob.
I really like vegetarian jokes. It's almost like you're okay with eating their food. You don't really care if they have a shadow. Pretty much feeling feedback. I like it.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Several times. Were you done? I'm sorry. I just wrote down a couple of lines. You started out by saying you like you have a lot of meat substitutes because I'm vegetarian, and I think it's a great place you could like because I'm vegetarian and heterosexual.
Yeah.
And like when people were asking about your kids being vegetarians, like they think they called it off me and my wife. You know, like it's not a disease, guys. They didn't catch vegetarian, you know, because people were, you know, and
Yeah, don't go to EJ's house for dinner because you'll turn into one of those vegetarians.
yeah, you come out with vegetarianism or something. And I think you could play off also your wife. My ex had a substitute lover. You know, I was at work or something. Like,
Yeah.
I thought you could have went a good direction with that. Go ahead, Gordy.
Yeah, I know. I love the substitute kid, but that was great. And like Kel said, I think the definitely stuff on the reaction to being a vegetarian. I mean, vegans. I mean, being a vegan is how to make yourself annoying to people, sort of thing, because vegans tend to preach, you know. But I think you could have a lot of fun with how people react to you. But the fake meat stuff, I think that's something that that the one could work on. Why do vegetarians who don't like meat want to taste fake meat? You know, I mean, I guess I get it if they've been raised on meat and then switched, but I'm not sure where the funny is in that. But I think there might be something in there.
Well, there's jokes for people who aren't vegetarians in there, like, you know, all these vegetarians are trying to make their vegetables taste like cow. You know what else tastes like cow? It's cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We had a comment on the Facebook post. It says must know how to spell whores, not whores, not whores, right? Haha! I had the same thought. Like he is secretly scornful that his wife left him. It's supposed to be wife.
Maybe wife.
Like he's secretly scornful that his wife left him. And wife, yes, there you go, buddy. You fix it. All right. So is everybody good with their feedback there? We will go on to. Oh, let's give it up for EJ one last time before we go on.
Thank you. Thanks for the feedback.
And Kelso, you have the floor. tell us your topic and take it away.
Okay, here we go. All right. My name's Kelso. I'm here to talk to you about fried food. And if anyone in this room doesn't eat fried food, get out. No sense. We're all friendly here, but like, go.
Go.
Some would say I'm passionate. I like to say I am soft, ready to be coated in breadcrumbs and dipped in hot oil. Is what my Tinder profile said before they removed me. Just to make sure
She's breaking
I
up.
have the
Can you
kind of.
guys hear? Can anybody hear?
Getting real choppy.
It's cutting in.
I don't even do that. Which means the Egyptians who may be responsible. Which means the Egyptians who may be responsible for one of the greatest landmarks of all time were being fueled by the magic of this fried food. So in the beginning of my set, when I asked those of you who do not eat fried food to leave, now might be a good time. Just get out. You know who really needs to get out is my father. Just kidding. He already did that. My dad I'm just kidding. My dad has an air fryer, and he purchased the air fryer after I moved out, so I will never forgive him. My dad lives in Virginia in the States. And for those of you who don't know, Virginia is one state that should be separated into two, like the cool part and the not cool part. And my dad lived in the not cool part, which is guns, questionable choices on politics, and lots of mayonnaise. So he actually has a long gravel driveway that leads into his house with a front gate at the entrance. And he's ex-military, so he set up a security system that when a car crosses the gate threshold, it makes a loud beep in the house that says something like, "You don't need this," or "Spend your money on something else." I don't know. So I'm visiting, and we hear the beep. And my dad immediately grabs his gun, and he's like, "What the?" He goes to the door, and he's like, "It's just the Amazon guy. We're fine." "Yeah, Dad, it's just the Amazon guy. It's 5 p.m. And he's like, "Forgot I ordered hash browns for the air fryer." Thank you so much. You can put those over there. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you. Oof.
Jeremy, feedback, please.
Mayo, like mayo on fried foods. I was just thinking that sounds gross, but you didn't even say anything about that. So maybe tell us about some of the gross foods you had to eat at your dad's house. And then this thought came to mind the other day. I made breakfast. I shaved the potato with the grater in my house. I added a little onion. I put some oil in the pan, and I reformed it back into a potato and ate it. Hash browns.
Hey.
I used the hashtag and everything. So that's just weird because it's like a whole potato. You make it all into shredded potato, and you make it a potato again. Like it's just a potato. You didn't even do anything. So I don't know. It's just a tweet that I made. You can put that somewhere if you want.
Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, Joe.
I think the main note is just, and it's the one I always get and give. Get to the main story as quick as you can. That's where the majority of the jokes are. So just get to talking about your dad and the Amazon and hash brown as fast as you can. I did have just a quick suggestion of when you talk about how your dad is from the not cool part, you could maybe mention that's how you know it's the not cool part of Virginia. Just wherever he is, it just happens to be the not cool part.
Say again, I'm sorry.
When you're talking about your dad being from the not cool part of Virginia,
Yeah.
you could just make it very clear that just wherever he is just happens to be the not cool part. Of Virginia. Yeah, that's all I had.
Thank you.
Jim Bob.
I was just gonna say that because your dad got an air fryer after you left, it's time to find a new dad.
Yeah.
Air fryer for life, man. That's insulting.
I know, right?
So I really like the connection between the fried foods in the area where your dad comes from, because I'm sure he probably doesn't live an hour away from me. I'm right, between Kentucky and Tennessee is that part of Virginia, But I think you can make it's like the part of Virginia where he's from, like the more fried food you eat, the more guns and bullets you have to have or something, I don't know, we had one Facebook comment said, "I'd be more picky with your details. If it doesn't serve the joke, cut it." And I think that's good advice for everybody on every joke ever. Wardy?
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. Unfortunately, it was cutting out in and out for me in the beginning, so I don't know if that was the same for anybody else. But I couldn't hear you. But I
love the Egyptian jokes, and anything before the Egyptian jokes, we didn't really hear clearly.
That's okay. It really was nothing important. I was really, like Joe said, I was really just trying to get to that story, but I was like, I knew I had 5 minutes, so I was like, we'll just put this out there.
I love the stuff on your dad, and I think there's lots more that you can tease out there, and especially you can play a lot with Virginia. I think there's so much there, and your dad sounds like a gold mine to mine for jokes. So
That's not thought of one. That's not thought of one.
Yeah.
What's that?
So Virginia is for lovers of guns and beer.
That's
That's the state motto of Virginia. For those of you who don't know, is Virginia's for lovers, and so it's a play on that. Anyway, I think your storytelling style might be good for callbacks if you play with it, and that's absolutely. EJ, I'm sorry, Wardy, was you done, man? I interrupted you.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah,
okay. EJ.
More on the dividing Virginia into two. They did already try that.
They did do that. 1861, 83.
Yeah, so you could play with that. Just say which they tried. They need to try one more time. Just wanted to think of them like whittling a state down until it's bearable. It's like pruning a bush or something. And then I just like. It's just such a fun thing. Did your dad really pull a gun on the Amazon guy?
He had it in his hands.
Yeah.
That it was, and then put it back. He didn't open the door with it. That was a little dramatic.
That's fantastic. There's a lot I like about it. Has he not ordered packages before? I don't know. Does he do that for the pizza guy?
Yeah.
Also, now we all know what to wear to invade your dad's house. I like thinking about he's ex-military, so I don't know if he's like a war vet at all.
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah.
Like whatever country or soldiers he fought against, I don't know. You could make it specific to them, but apparently they just needed to bring hash browns. That's
Right.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Good deal. Everybody give it up for Kelso. All right, Jeremy, you have the floor.
All right, my topic is Lansing. So lance, the word lance means a few different things, so I'll educate you guys now. A lance is a long instrument used for thrusting, having a wooden shaft and a pointy steel head. Formerly used by a horseman in pleasuring his woman if previously during the day he took her Hitachi magic wand into battle with the opposing tribe instead of his lance. I don't know where that came from. In school, there was a kid named Lance, and Lance was a bully. But I can understand now after learning that Lance in the medical field means small prick. So Lance would be in the schoolyard, and he'd pick you, he'd jab you, he'd poke you until you would just explode. And Lance is a male. Lancet is a surgical instrument. If you ever have used one of these, it means you have a lot of money. Google said to go dark, and it said abscesses should not be lanced until there is a soft spot in the center. And I don't have a baby, Google, but damn, that's also, sorry if I sent you guys a link to a pimple popping video on accident while researching the content that is coming to you right now, because that's happened. A lance could also be a metal pipe supplying a jet of oxygen to a furnace or to a hot flame for like cutting something. So now every time I say the word lance, I'm picturing the kid Lance in school, like shooting a jet of oxygen into a furnace. Just me? Okay. So as I work every day with no one to tell me what to do, I tell people I'm a freelancer, but it just really means I'm poor. So send work, guys. That's all I got.
I'm assuming I can just jump in.
Oh, okay. We'll start out with Joe.
All right. That delivery was so impressive. It was a whole bunch of one-liners, but they were all the segues into the next joke without having to add another line, and it just made it one cohesive narrative of just one-liners, which was very impressive. I like the kind of improv game approach of like, oh, let me figure out every way I can do these specific types of jokes with every version of this word. And you just explored it, and you just had a set with that. That was really cool.
That's how all of them. I'm not very clever. I just go to Google, and Google's like, this is the possibilities you have. Figure it out there, bud.
So clever.
Jim Bob? Jim Bob?
I like the flow of it. Like, it had a really good flow. I'm a big fan of one-liners, so I have no nothing bad to say about it.
So I agree. I thought you flowed really well. Just a couple small things. I like self-deprecating humor. So, you started out with a lance is a long instrument for thrusting. That's just totally foreign to me. I don't know. And lance is a small prick. That's also used as a medical term. I thought that could be fun. Anyway, that's all I got. Woody?
I loved it. And the funniest one was the soft spot on the baby's head when you talked about lancing the soft spot. I thought that was hilarious. You just glided over that one. You didn't go and you didn't make it very that was very subtle the way you said that, but that was beautiful. That was the best of them all. I loved that.
That was Google's fault. I mean,
what's that?
Partially. It was partially Google's fault. Again, I can't take any other credit for any of this. Google sent all of that. So
always take credit.
EJ?
What was the soft spot line? I think I missed that.
I just said it said the abscess should be lance. I said, Google, I don't even have a baby, or I never had a baby, but damn, I don't know what I said. It probably was something totally different than what I wrote down on my paper, and now just screwing it all.
I think you said Google said you had to wait till there was a soft spot in the in order to before you could lance it, and then you said I don't even have a baby, and I took it to mean the soft spot on a baby's head.
Is that what you meant?
I meant just an abortion, or it could be a soft spot in the head. Just poke at them. That's how you know when a baby's conceived, and when they can fight back against that coat hanger.
Oh, I thought you meant the soft spot where a baby had the soft spot with, that's what you were launching.
Can do whatever you want.
I like, the phrase "soft spot" is interesting and could go in a number of directions. So, yeah, I agree that you could definitely play with that. I love the little prick wordplay with the bully Lance. That's good.
I feel bad because I think Lance may have already passed on. So here I am just talking shit about him. He wasn't really a bad guy, but his name was Lance, so I had to use him.
That's funny. I mean, you could just very abruptly say that he's dead, and that just the shock of that could be funny. And then I had something about when you talked about lancing or lance it and a lot of money. I don't know.
But then I realized that I figured out what a lancet was. Like a lancet's like that thing you use for diabetes. Like you prick your finger. So it's not like something that cuts you. It's something that just stabs you, and then that's it. So I read on the Google, it said it used for cutting, but I don't think it's actually used for cutting something. So I don't know. Maybe.
So it's like a little prick. Which you probably which you'd want to make up for with a lot of money. That's all I had.
Kelso?
Jeremy, I love you. I love the small prick was really funny. Also, even in this feedback, I wonder what that soft spot, if you could say someone said I just glided over that joke, that was the problem.
I think I'm trying to get away from being dark, so I didn't want to make a dead baby reference. So you guys just fill in the blanks yourself, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And that way I could still go on dry bar.
Oh, I was thinking soft spot on not anything to do with the baby. You could say someone said I glided over that joke. That was the problem. Or like she said that was the problem or something. But and the other one, you said I'm a freelancer, which basically means I'm poor. I wonder if you can play around with some other words, like which basically means I'm unemployed or I'm single or I'm divorced. I don't know, like just see if what else might work there. But otherwise, like you're a little king of deadpans.
All right, everybody give it up for Jeremy. All right, we're to you, Joe. You have your topic and you have the floor.
So, hey, gang, good to see you. I'm just going to let you know real quick that I am autistic and terrified of accidentally getting comfortable and speaking with excessive honesty. That said, I've been thinking about aquariums lately because I was asked to, and no one told me not to come up with a believable, entertaining explanation of why I'm talking about aquariums tonight. I don't really get excited about aquariums. The novelty of containing water life in an above-ground structure comes with a lot of unique sounds and sensations that cause sensory overload with my autism. The inconsistent noises of water pumps, the effects that thousands of gallons of water in the walls has on ambient air pressure, and the knowledge that all of those fish are just constantly swimming in each other's filth. I actually used to work at a zoo that had some aquariums, but I literally don't know what I can legally talk about with that since I was fired and had to sign an NDA not to mention that particular zoo in public. I won't risk getting sued talking about which particular zoo I worked at while living in my hometown of Kansas City. So I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about. Since I really don't have any good stories about aquariums, and visiting one was not an appealing option. But I'm a professional, damn it, and an adult. So I got dressed, psyched myself up, and hung out in virtual reality aquariums using my VR rig. I took notes of my observations of the wildlife. Number one, I was not aware just how big stingrays can get, and am infinitely more terrified of them now that I am. Number two, sea turtles always look like they're giving you a look, but never a good one. Number three, gang, I looked it up actually. Stingrays can grow up to 16.5 feet long. That's way too big for what's essentially a living rubber sheet with a sword. Number four, there are quite a few VR YouTube guides just brashly walking by no video recording signs at these aquariums. Sir, I'm viewing this from well above your shoulder. I'm pretty sure someone is going to notice a 360-degree camera just sticking 7 feet in the air. And number five, holy crap, we can't be sure how big stingrays really get because the biggest ones are usually found by standard fishing boats not equipped to measure something that big. It's been suggested as large as 1,300 pounds, which, again, is just way too big for the world's worst weighted blanket. After going through the virtual aquarium tours, I popped into my VR Tai Chi app where I did guided Tai Chi in a virtual underwater tunnel. Somehow the fake turtles looked even more disappointing than the real ones. The real turtles were just a recording I found on YouTube, but the digital turtles would stop and actively watch me do my Tai Chi exercise. The looks seemed even more judgmental when their eyes would follow my head wherever it went. After doing that for 5 minutes, I think I finally understood why real turtles look so pissed off to have looky-loos wandering through a tunnel in their home. And that's what I got.
So it looks like Jim Bob has bowed out on us, or she's probably got a dead battery or lost her connection or something. So I'll start with the feedback. First off, I thought the sea turtles line was perfect. They give you a look, but never a good one. So I like to build on that one. The sea turtles, they always look like they're giving you a look, but never a good one. They all look at me like I owe them money, and I don't. I don't think.
I don't think. Not sure. There's a couple times I blocked out.
Right. There's a couple years I'm not sure about. I did some nasty shit, or I don't know. Anyway, that's all I had. I thought it was well done.
That was fun. I don't have anything ready to add, but I loved the living rubber sheet with a sword. I think it was a great description of them, and now that I hear that, that's all I can think of when I think of them. And I've seen many in my time, and that's such a good description. So funny. But I don't have anything to add, though. That's a tough subject to do for sure, and you did a great job.
DJ?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that also. Really lame, but I wrote down sea turtles. They're also sea turtles because they're looking, but I don't know how to make that funny.
Jim Bob back.
The stingray, the fear of the stingrays is hilarious, and I don't know if you kept going back to the stingrays just because your notes were unorganized, but I love that element. I think if you talk about it, keep going back to the stingrays really abruptly too, to just like your fear just keeps coming back, and you're like, also they can be 1,300 pounds.
There's one right now over my shoulder.
I know. I was gonna say, I mean, they're so big. I don't know those. I mean, they already look like they're flying, but maybe they actually can fly. And you can come to that realization and just kind of pause and like look behind you. Could get a laugh. But playing up your fear of stingrays, I think that's so funny.
Green screen that stingray over the shoulder picture, and then just like right at that time, you're like, whoa.
Kelso.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I really liked it. I wonder if there's room, because you talk about the in the beginning that you can't talk about the zoo, working at that zoo anymore. And I really, really like that. I kind of want to know what happened, but also to keep it as vague as you already are, because you're saying like, I can't do this, and or I guess they don't like when, I don't know, someone like, I guess they don't like when you break into a monkey cage or like whatever. But yeah, keeping it somehow vague. I just kind of want to know like a little bit about why you're gone, just a little. But other than that, yeah, really good stuff.
Jeremy.
So let me tell you more about the zoo that I worked for. There was a lion and a tiger and something like that. So yeah, I agree with what you said, being vague. That's pretty funny. I like the swimming with the fishes. You missed that reference. And then that got me thinking that like here in Asia, they have these places where you can go put your feet in these aquariums and the fish will like eat all the dead skin off of your feet. So what if you went swimming naked in one of those pools? That would be really fun. Swimming with the fishes. Yeah, that's it.
I cut I think the Garfa Rufa is what they're called. I cut a joke about those things and like theorizing if Aquaman used them. Like, it's so funny that you mentioned that. Like I literally cut a joke mentioning them.
Well, my friend has like a thing of those at his house, and he just feeds them like they got these little plants in there that they eat off of, so he doesn't ever have to feed them. But every time I go over there, I put my feet in there, and they just like go to town, and it's so cool. But he doesn't go away long enough to put other body parts in there. So it's interesting, yeah. That would
Bob?
be part of a nightmare, I guess.
Jim Bob. Do you have any feedback?
I thought that was it was really good.
Every time Jim Bob's like, it was
I
good.
feel like jokes about aquarium, you could have made more jokes about things getting wet.
About the what?
If I can just add
All right.
one more thing, I've forgotten the name of the Australian sports car. Guy who always went around.
Steve Irwin.
Oh yeah, and he came to a fishy end. Thanks to a stingray. You know, I think I don't know how you could work that in, but you know, but he and the stingray came to had a disagreement. You know, and I'm not sure how you could work that in, but it may be a bit dark. But
Fear.
okay.
Jim Bob, do you have anything else to add?
I mean, aquariums and wet things. I feel like there could be something there, but
Sure. Yeah. All right.
like, how can we
Everybody give
turn
it
an
up?
aquarium joke dirty?
Right. Everybody give it up for Joe. Good job, Joe. And Jim Bob, you now have the stage. It's your subject and your time. Ready? There you are.
All right, give me 1 second here because I'm stuck in the chat room. There we go. I have a hard time with touchscreens. It's great. My subject is flavoring.
Is what?
So, did you know that
Flavored?
Nintendo Switch cartridges are flavored? Flavoring.
Okay, sorry. I can.
But did you know that Nintendo Switch cartridges are flavored? They're like little game cartridges, but they're so small a toddler, animal, or adult may be dumb enough to try and eat one. I haven't tried it myself personally, but over the years I've had other friends try it, and I got my boyfriend to give it a go before the show to make sure they still do. He said it left a skid mark of bad flavor on his tongue after bitch slapping his taste buds. So if you or anyone you know has a Nintendo Switch, I highly suggest making your friends guinea pigs unless you're dumb enough to do it yourself. This is like an older crowd, so like, oh, I have jokes for myself. But I love donut shops. And my boyfriend and I go donut hunting whenever we get the chance. But I feel like some of these places have run out of flavors and they just sit around a kitchen table throwing around ideas and concepts. Like basil and anything. Bacon everything. Lemon pine needle. And it almost makes you want to yell out, for fuck's sakes, Kyle, stop looking out the window and get your head back in the game. Seriously, pine. No. Seriously though, when did we stray away from sweet, tasty donut flavors and cross the line into savory madness? At multiple places, I've seen basil introduced with fruit, but the biggest disappointment of all was a bacon donut I came across. And anyone who knows me knows I love bacon. And I'm no stranger to putting bacon in baked goods. While I make my own cookies and throw some homemade bacon bits for that little taste of yum. But what this place did is an abomination against everything that's right in this world. Let me set the scene, okay? We walk into a shop. I see a donut that features bacon and something that seems like it would be a delicious pairing inside it. Take a huge bite and immediately feel the need to shake the cashier and go, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Who hurt you and gave you the idea that caramelized onions went well with bacon and a donut? Seriously though, caramelized onions and a donut with bacon bits. That place is now on my list of places to take people who piss me off but still respect my recommendations of places with tasty foods. That's all I have.
So I'm gonna say I really like it. I thought you did well. I was waiting for the line. You know, bacon. If it's donut with bacon and anything else, I'm gonna fucking try it. Just put that out there. You know.
Yeah, I probably would too.
That's all I got.
It was
Morty?
a bacon bourbon donut. So who the fuck puts onions in it? Sorry, I'm so pissed off about it still.
You tried it though, didn't you? You tried it though.
Yeah.
Sorry, I battled to hear your set. I'm sorry about that, but I really loved your final bit about a place to take someone who you pissed off with, and who still trusts your judgment. I thought that was hilarious, and that's a great bit, really great bit.
EJ?
Yeah, I feel like I like the donuts when you're talking about all the strange flavors, and I think you have the person looking out the window. I think there are a lot of things you can try there also, both in terms of getting extreme ingredients, even just Googling like gourmet donuts and just seeing some of the crazy flavors that are out there, and then you can even make some up that are even just sound plausible. But I'm trying to think of other things, other comparisons you can make. You can still do the yard thing, but also, I mean, compare the flavors to, I don't know, candles, or is someone sorting through the trash? Are you at the florist? Like, what the hell? And then I think, yeah, just being disgusted by donuts is fun. I don't know. You used to need coffee to wake you up. Now you need the shitty donut. That's all I wrote.
So he just made me think of one. Like, I went to the donut shop and they came up with all these flavors. Like, what they do? Drop the donut on the floor and
drop it on the floor. Yeah,
clean the counter off. Like,
yeah.
Let's have donut with dust.
I'm sure Gwyneth Paltrow's come up with some disgusting ones. You know,
I'm sure. All right, Jeremy, on you.
Vagina flavored donut.
Yeah, you could really do that instead of a candle. The vagina flavored one donut would be great. You know, that'd be a good one to do.
Make sure that you take the bite out of the right side, because otherwise it's going to taste like shit.
Just don't take very long licks. You know, just take short little licks.
Yeah.
Kelso, are you still there? Because
I'm still here. I'm still here. I just had to. I'll be right back. I appreciate the hate for donuts because so many people love them. I agree with EJ. I wonder if you can mess around with the flavors and maybe even put them in like don't even use food. Like do some flavors that are like, I don't know, so outrageous, like a T-shirt or something, and you're like, wait, what?
Like donut and socks.
Yeah, it's like donut and socks, and you're like, now we're doing laundry. I don't know what this is all about. No, the last line was so good. Like taking people that you're really pissed off to a place. Maybe you can then tag back and order like the terrible, like the laundry donut or something.
Yeah, there you go. The floor donut or the laundry donut. Like,
yeah. Also, it could be like depending on
something like that.
how they pissed you off, right? Like the donut could be which donut do they get to how they actually pissed you off.
So yeah.
But the last line was so good. Yeah, the bad I'm full of bad recommendations. I don't know. Yeah, really good.
And Joe?
I really love that you started with bad flavorings, like flavors that are meant to make you not want to eat something. And like I think if you could not only explore that a little more, because there's so much, like that's a whole industry of making gas smell so that we know there's danger. And then you could play with things that are unpleasant but weren't intentional, like, you know, you talk about licking switch cartridges, which I haven't done but have heard about. You could also talk about like licking 9-volt batteries. And then once you have a good enough list of the things you shouldn't lick or taste, then you can start comparing each of those to like one of the ridiculous flavored donuts that you either saw or come up with. Which that, I don't know how it is in Canada, but like in America, the 24/7 artisanal donut shops are everywhere. They're amazing, but like they do get a little bit crazy.
That makes me sad. I have to get my donuts during regular people hours.
Oh.
All right, everybody get back up.
I got two more things.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So, like, what about like sour cream or nacho cheese or barbecue flavored condoms? Like, why are they not putting better flavorings on condoms? And then also, like, why not vodka flavored fruit? I bet adults would eat more fruit if it was flavored like vodka. So those are two things we should start working on for the future of humanity. Thanks, guys. That's
my TED Talk. Thanks for coming to Jeremy's TED Talk. All right, everybody get up for jump out. Yeah. All right, so I'm up now. I got Renaissance Fair.
You got what? Sorry?
Renaissance Fair.
some weird topic.
Renaissance Fair. Like the Renaissance? You don't know what the Renaissance is?
Renaissance Festival.
Oh.
Yeah, Renaissance Fair. Okay.
The Renaissance Festival, yeah.
So Renaissance Fair is the most masculine place on earth. There's no place on earth where men are more comfortable with their sexuality. How do I know? I went to one. And there are more fanny packs at a Renaissance Festival per capita than anywhere in the solar system. I always wonder, like, how things like Renaissance Festival get started. Like, we're two guys sitting around like, oh man, we need to get laid. How are we going to get laid? And they landed on Renaissance Fair. Like, their surprise was they're going to get much less pussy now after they started this thing than they were before. But now they call it LARPing. They've changed it in LARPing. Like, was Renaissance Fair too fucking masculine for you or what? But LARP is actually an acronym for live action role playing. You know, it's like Dungeons and Dragons on steroids. Or as I like to say, Dungeons and Dragons for guys who like to play Dungeons and Dragons. But I always get a kick out of jocks, like, you know, these former jocks who like always want to make fun of the Dungeons and Dragons guys. And I'm always like, bro, you play fantasy football. What the fuck are you talking about? They're like, oh yeah, but fantasy football's cool. I'm like, oh yeah? Well, does fantasy football has dungeons? Does fantasy football have dragons? Because Dungeons and Dragons has both those things. And I'm much more interested in Dungeons and Dragons than what the fuck Tom Brady's doing. And that's all I got. Renaissance Fair. All right, Morty.
Sorry, I battled to hear, and I really should. My hearing's bad, but I had no idea what a Renaissance fair was, so I had a hard time figuring out what it was that you were talking about.
So Renaissance fairs where they like dress up like knights and they sword fight, play fight, and shit like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would have helped. Sorry, I had no idea, and I was still trying to figure out what the hell you're talking about.
Okay.
So sorry, I missed I missed all that. My apologies.
Okay, DJ.
I like when you're imagining who started these Renaissance fairs. You could because they are just so nerdy. Yeah, you could just go straight to was it two guys just sitting around asking each other what's another way we can not get laid? And then I really love the comparison of fantasy football to LARPing and the reversal of like, yeah, you think LARPers are nerds, but it's way cooler than fantasy football. First of all, the LARPers, at least they're getting exercise. And yeah, I like the Tom Brady. Comparing Tom Brady to dragons and dungeons and stuff. There might be a more direct comparison that could be funny because in sports, in football, there's animals too. You know, there's like the lions and the eagles or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, you could have some comparison to a beast or creature in D&D where it's like, yeah, you know what's cooler than, I don't know, guys dressing up like these animals, the actual animals, yeah. Or there's something.
Yeah, they got Dungeons and Dragons. You got the lions and the bears.
Or there are some really weak. The lions and bears are the tougher animals too. They're far weaker mascots that you could play with. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Kelso.
That's a really good idea. I think the comparison between the fantasy football and Renaissance, like you're excited about the Seahawks and the Lions, or like, okay. And in the beginning when you mentioned how they invented the like Renaissance, I wonder if there's a play on how that happened with some sort of fight that took place. I don't know. That's like where my head's going. So like, want to think of another way to not get laid. Yeah, let's dress up and LARP.
Fight with sticks.
Yeah. And also, I wonder if on another direction, if you really liked it, because you do compare that it's way cooler than fantasy football. So what if you become like, what if you at the end you're like, the punch is that you are a LARPer. Like I'm a big advocate for it. Like yeah. You're like, anyway, I have like gotta go. Now.
Got the Renaissance Fair down the street. I gotta get ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually started it. I don't know. Yeah,
and I do get laid less.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, you're making me realize like how I'm about to move away from my town right when all of my Comic Cons and Renfests are about to start. But I really love, whether you intended to or not, you have all of these really good opportunities to mention the most famous Dungeons and Dragons players right now, which is weirdly Joe Manganiello and Vin Diesel. Two big burly jock action movie stars are literally two of like the most well-known D&D players right now because they're celebrities and they do those games. You could play so much with that of like when you're it's like we can't all be, married to Sofia Vergara and also get to play Dungeons and Dragons.
So I had no idea that was a thing. But that's cool. Yeah. Jim Bob.
think Renaissance festivals are cool, so I guess that says something about me. I don't know, maybe like someone just wanted to fight their neighbor and we're like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna start a Renaissance festival, we're going jousting.
Yeah.
Best way to beat up your neighbors with a stick.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have anything.
So the fanny pack joke didn't get any gig or nothing. Nobody like that.
I think I missed it.
The fanny pack joke. Did
Can
y'all
you
hear
say
it? The fanny pack joke? Did nobody hear the fanny pack joke? Or did
I
somebody
missed
hear
it.
Huh?
Okay, let me retell it because I think it's kind of. I mean, I don't think it's great, but I think it's. I said Renaissance fairs are the most masculine places on earth. There's no place on earth where the men are more comfortable with their sexuality. How do I know? I went to one. And there are more fanny packs per capita at a Renaissance fair than anywhere in the galaxy.
I just love that they didn't have fanny packs in the 1600s.
I mean,
Or as far as we know, outside of our planet, let alone the solar system. They have to bring galaxies into this.
okay, I just thought it was funny. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I'd leave out the how do I know part
Oh yeah,
and then just go straight. Like I went to one.
right.
And
Gotcha.
there's
Standard rule: don't worry about saying what you're going to say. Just say it.
Right. Take it away. If you don't add to the joke, take it away. Absolutely. All right. We have come to the part of the show where we are going to do our own material. Everybody's going to go through, have 5 to 7 minutes, and we will all give feedback and keep it rocking. And we will start with you, Wardy, and keep it going. It's on you, man.
Okay. Thanks. Now, I'm not sure if people know how important June 22nd is. First of all, it's International No Panties Day, where women are encouraged to go commando. It's also National Chocolate Eclair Day and National Onion Ring Day. Now, when celebrating these days, please be careful in which order. Right? Now, on a totally different subject, give me a cheer if you're a retiree. Just me. Oh, and mom as well. Let me tell you, retirement's great fun. Not only because I have a wife and a car that are both still working, but also because when I do crazy stuff, people aren't sure whether I'm taking the piss out of them or whether I'm seriously senile, right? So, for example, I love going to a pharmacy, grabbing a box of condoms, going up to the counter, and asking where the fitting rooms are. and talking of fitting rooms, I love going into a real fitting room, in a clothing store, sitting there for a few minutes, and then shouting really loudly, "Oi, there's no toilet paper in here." But talking of that sort of thing, why in public toilets, when someone tries the door to the store we're in, do we shout occupied? What I like to shout is, "Come back with a search warrant." But it makes me wonder, though, what do people shout when they're in Palestine? If you give the usual occupied, the response you're likely to get is, "I know, Habibi, the Israelis have been here for 70 years, right?" Now, there have been times when I kind of overstepped the lines. I used to love sitting on a public bench, and when a stranger sat down beside me, I just stare straight ahead and say, "Did you bring the cash?" I had to stop doing that when I did it to an off-duty cop. And for similar reasons, I had to stop muttering aloud to myself. I wish I could remember where I buried the first 2 bodies as I walked past people in the street. But what's also fun, though, is the stuff you don't have to do anymore. Like the little annoying things in life. Like when you get up in the morning, you have to slip your underpants and see if you can wear them again, right? I don't do that anymore because I just know I can, right? But I am an old fart, okay? And I'm relatively new to social media, apps, iPhones, and all that sort of stuff. So I still make silly mistakes. Like the other day, I was taking a photo of this horrendous hemorrhoid I had. Those iPhone cameras are amazing, right? Because I wanted to send the photo. I wanted to send it to my wife to get her opinion. Instead, I sent it to all on my contact list. Talk about embarrassing. Plus, it cost me an absolute fortune in stamps too. And as for apps, you got to be very careful of apps because they can be quite dangerous. like those aging apps. I mean, you've seen that aging app, right? If you download it, it shows what you're going to look like when you get old. Now, obviously, I don't have to do that because all I got to do is look in the mirror, right? But be very careful of those ones because it can lead to embarrassing situations like my friend Tom discovered. You see, his son Jamie downloaded the app, and the net result was that Jamie ended up looking just like Mr. Johnson, their next door neighbor. Awkward. Tom then subsequently downloaded for his wife the What You're Gonna Look Like When You Get a Divorce app, right? And now Facebook also confuses the hell out of me, right? You know, I never know what's real news and what's fake news and that sort of thing, right? However, I did come across a post which really blew my tiny mind. It was on a global survey of sexual attitudes and behaviors of older women and men. Now, apparently, healthy men in my age group, that's the 65 to 75-year-old age group, have sex roughly once a week. And by roughly, I mean approximately, not with some change kind of roughly, right? That's way too much like hard work. Now, but there was one serious outlier, Japanese men. Japanese men in my age group are lucky if they get to have sex more than once a year. I was shocked. This is a major revelation for me. I had no idea I was Japanese. Really, my wife did. Thank you, folks.
Right, EJ?
That was great. That was fantastic. I loved it. So many good lines. I love the ending. Let me see. I wrote some stuff down. The only thing I have is a potential tag because when you describe smelling your underwear and you don't have to worry about that anymore. You go right into I'm an old fart. You could say I don't just wear them. That's it. Or you can make some tie that makes sense if that doesn't make sense to the to being an old fart and the old farts in your underwear.
Yeah. I was thinking that as well. There's something connecting.
Yeah.
Or every day is June 22nd for you.
That's good, yeah.
You're going commando. You don't even wear them anymore. No, good stuff. I like the beginning is just kind of saying just really absurd things to people. Like, is there a fitting room for the condoms? And that is there toilet paper in here? Like, all that was really playful. I feel like it's more of the like pauses and beats because there's laughter and like letting the joke settle,
Right.
versus like gliding over it. But because I thought they're all really, really funny, and I think too sometimes it'll take some people to like a minute or like a few seconds to catch up to you. But yeah, I really liked it.
Nice.
I loved how this was a different character from the orchestra guy who was complaining about the recorders. Like just a different delivery and the kind of character that I don't get to see in my personal life because very clearly this is something that you're around and I've never let my hometown. But like what I would remind you is when you're doing that character, when you're going into like softest side, make sure you're using stage whispers, not just for like mics and stuff, but to like if you put a little bit more bass into your whispers, you can help keep the attention of people when you change your voice, especially to something softer. Because I was having trouble focusing once you changed, and like then you would come back like, "Ooh, I missed something because his voice changed." So just be aware of that.
Great, thanks.
Jeremy?
I don't have much. I just thought the joke about you and your mom being retired, that was hilarious. Like you just brought her in. I don't know if that was really her or if it's just a flower base, but that's a good joke.
I sometimes brought her on stage and said, you know, this is a very special occasion for my mom because she very rarely gets out very much. And as you can see, she's very into downsizing, you know. And sort of, you know, and I play a bit on that and sort of say, and sometimes I say she's awfully shy being on stage here. And I plonk it down on someone's table and I say, do you mind if she sits with you for a while? You know, stuff like that. So I've got a fair bit out of her, but I can't overdo her too much, you know.
I would be fearful of dropping it if I really took it outside. So maybe you can like have like a travel bag or something, you know, something you just throw over your shoulder, a Ziploc. You take
Or you could be like, I want to bring my mom on stage.
I take her to a lot of shows, and she's not really inside there, but she's scattered somewhere in the garden.
Okay.
Oh, that's fucked up, but I like it.
See you, Bob.
I really liked your set. Oh, the urn joke. I didn't realize there was an urn there at first. Yeah, no, I can't wait to be retired. That's all I got.
You can't wait, sorry?
I can't wait until I'm retired.
So I just wrote down one. You were just talking about sniffing your underwear. You know, now that you're retired, you don't have to really do that. So, you know, I used to sniff my wife's underwear. Then when I went to work, I started sniffing my own underwear. Now I don't have to sniff at all. The cycle of life really is a beautiful thing. You know? And that's really all. That's it. That's all I think I wrote down. I thought it was a good set. Good job. All right, good job.
I just have a quick question. I tried two newer things. The whole thing about occupied on the toilet and overstepping the line using sitting on the park bench and saying things like, I wish I could remember where I buried the first two bodies. Did those work at all?
Yeah, I thought the transition to the Palestinian Israel thing was really crude. Like I feel like there's a more natural way to get there. I feel like, you know, some way, but you just kind of jumped into it. Like I thought about what it'd be like to take a dump or be in a fitting room in Israel, and I was like, damn, where'd that come from? You know, or Palestine.
No, it was playing on the word occupied.
Right.
So that's what I jumped to. Yeah.
That's all I got. Anybody else?
I'll just add real quick. Like I actually really liked the sudden shift. It was kind of a fun non sequitur that like just showed us a little bit of like your raw sense of humor, of like the very simple type of humor that you're using. So anyway, I was thinking of this ridiculous thing because of this simple thing. I really liked how you cut to that.
Great, thanks.
There you go. Good job, man.
Great, thanks.
Clap it up. EJ, you are up and you have the floor.
I'm actually going to take off. Sorry. Every other time I've done this, there've only been 2, 3, or 4 people in here. So I assumed we were going to be done by 11:30. I actually I have to take off. But this was great. And yeah, it's good to meet you all or see you again.
All right, man. Drop your credentials in the chat if you don't care. We can follow your social media stuff.
Cool. All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Good night.
See ya, bye.
All right, Kelso, that leaves it up to you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. I know we're gonna. Unexpected.
Wasn't ready. All right, here we go. Okay. Hello, my name is Kelso. My pronouns are they, them. But I have a lot of people ask me, they'll be like, well, they, them is plural. So are you like two people? And I'm like, yes, I am. Are you? Yes, we are. Aren't you? So I wanted to talk to you today. Today we're going to talk about STIs. Your favorite ABCs. Yeah. I'm so sick of STI testing not being normalized because people talk about like the way they talk about. I know I shouldn't be referencing Harry Potter, but like I was 12. I don't have a tattoo. You have a tattoo. STI testing. I went recently, and I was prepared, y'all, because the first time I went for an STI test, I knew what I was in for. Right? Okay, so I put my legs up. I'm in the room with the doctor, and she reaches in and she says, "Okay, chlamydia." And my heart drops. Like that feeling when you realize you lost your wallet and your entire soul gets sucked into your big toe. Like, I was like, what? She's like, do you have any questions? I said, yeah. Did you just say I had chlamydia? And she was like, oh, honey, no. I said my assistant Lydia will get your paperwork. And I immediately started laughing. I was like, I didn't even suck a dick in my last threesome. How do I have chlamydia? And she was like, oh, honey, you can't even see chlamydia. And I'm like, oh, well, in that case, can I get Lydia's number? Or, so I think it's fair to say I have had some scares that weren't scares in my STI world. So about a month ago, I went to get checked again. And I live in Vietnam, and I was recommended to this queer clinic where I could put on my paperwork that I'm genderqueer, non-binary, trans. These things are important to me. So I went, and I made it even a little queer friend date with pals. You know, we were like, STI check day, like we're going to lunch. It was really cute. So we get to the STI clinic, and they hand me a pouch. And in the pouch is a pee cup and a very long Q-tip. And they point to the bathroom and say, good luck. Is what I imagine they said. They actually said 6 to 8 centimeters. And I was like, oh, this is a DIY STI. So I do the test myself. I bring it back, and they said it's going to be done in an hour. I don't know. It just kind of feels like delivery to me, but that's fine. So I come back, and then they take me into a room, and they tell me that everything is negative, but I might have gonorrhea. And I was like, okay, what do you mean might? You know, I am non-binary, and I'm like, fuck the binary, but in this moment, I really need the binary. Is this a yes or a no? And they say, maybe. So I ask, okay, I just want to clarify, I could have gonorrhea, but I also couldn't. He says, yes. So I end up going to, this is a whole storytelling thing I haven't finished at the end, but I end up going to another clinic and getting tested, and they said, we're going to send you a result via email. I know if I were to do this where I'm from, I would get an email that's like a PDF document, and you have to type in a passcode or something along those lines. But they sent me an email, and just within the subject line says, "Dear Kelso, your gonorrhea test results are negative!" with an exclamation point. And I'm like, how many people in this clinic come out positive? Like, you seem real excited. So I don't, punchline, I don't have gonorrhea. But I have never, that's all I have. I've never done like storytelling before. That's probably more than 5 minutes, or even less than 3 minutes, really. So yeah, this is like I just kind of want to put the story out there because I think it needs to be told that I was told maybe at an STI clinic, which is wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Good job, Joe.
I could not tell that you weren't used to the storytelling style of comedy. That was very natural. Like in your first set when you were, once you got to the story of your dad, it was much more natural, and much easier to follow. I think you could really explore that. The thing that kept coming to my mind is, are they going to say Schrodinger's gonorrhea at some point? I was certain a Schrodinger joke was going to come, and it never did. Or maybe it both was and wasn't.
Okay.
But yeah, that was what I really liked about the storytelling style is that you were just open about yourself, about things that not everyone is, and that's just really makes it easy to invest in the story you're telling when I can tell that you're being honest about what you're talking about.
Absolutely. Jeremy?
I would just say edit it and insert some punchlines.
Yeah.
That's kind of a hard story for an audience to accept. So, but I mean, as long as you're making them laugh, then it's fine. But I mean, that's kind of a weird subject,
Yeah.
Cool. Jim Bob?
I mean, it's weird for a one-liner, and you did that for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
But I mean, like I do that sometimes where I just have an idea about something and you just have to talk about it,
Right.
and you can pick the things that stick and then take some of the things out.
I mean, this is a workshop, man. That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But interesting.
All I have written down is Schrodinger's gonorrhea. Is it gonorrhea? Is it not? Is it in a box? Is it not? Who knows?
So
Great.
Is it in
I
the
wrote down-
box? Is it not in the box?
in the box or it's not.
The vagina in the box, guys.
I just wrote down a couple of things. You talked about getting the chlamydia test at first, and you was talking about, when it feels like the whole world's getting sucked into your big toe, except it's your vagina, and also you talking about it being a DIY STI test for the gonorrhea. I thought that was hilarious. Apparently, this clinic is the Bob Vila of medical centers.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Wild.
Bob Vila.
Yeah,
Just go down to Home Depot and pick up a couple of Hispanic
Gonorrhea
dudes to help you build a porch.
Yes, because that was like something when they handed it, and I'm saying it's like I kind of wanted to play around with I'm not a doctor, I'm a comedian, or something like that. I don't know. Like I can't believe that you're trusting me to do this.
Also, it's like it says 6 to 8 centimeters. It's okay. It's Jeremy. So you know how far to put it in.
Or would that be Lance? That would be Lance.
Anytime I have
not
to
you,
do
Jeremy, but a different
something
Jeremy.
myself, I put it on my resume. So like you should add that to your resume as like a skill that you have, you know, you can give STI checks.
Yeah.
You've heard the airplane story. I'm a safety evacuator. I'm also a Korean barbecue chef. So just add that shit to your resume. It's going to help you get a job maybe.
All right, Wardy.
Yeah, I love the storytelling style. That's my favorite. Like, and I think, you know, with a bit of editing and trying to put in a few more bits through the story. You know, there was quite a long period without a little bit in there. You know, so, and I think with storytelling, one has to have those bits all the way through. You know.
Yeah.
Like Jen Bob's suggestion there, those type of bits fitted in there, and it'll be even more fun, you know. But I love the storytelling style. I think it's the one that I'm most comfortable with. The only problem I find with storytelling style is if you're starting on a subject and you realize that the audience isn't biting. Like I got one in the Bible, which I battle if the audience isn't liking it, you know, and religion's kind of difficult, right? I don't have an escape route, and I think that's one of the problems one has to have with a storytelling style is having an escape route. That if the subject matter isn't working, it's not like one-liners where you're jumping all over and it doesn't matter. But when you've got a storytelling style, and if it's not working, what's your escape route? What can you move off to something else? But I think there's a gold mine there. And I think you can have a lot of fun with it, and so will the audience.
Joe, is that everybody? Good job, Kelso. Joe, you have the floor and you have the time.
All right. So I'm going to do what I call my sexy set. Hey, gang. Good to see you. I'm Joe. I'm autistic. And if you're not sure what that means, then please stop telling me. I don't understand my own diagnosis. An autistic comedian? Oh, sweetie, that can't be right. People on the spectrum don't have the capacity to understand humor. Man, with all due respect, you have clearly never been in a room full of autistics watching America's Funniest Home Videos crotch shots compilations. The laughter gets so loud that half of them will scatter in response to the sudden stimuli. Stereotypes like that seem harmless and give you a pleasant surprise when you're wrong, but how many Karens do you know who are willing to admit they're wrong? The answer is zero. Being unwilling to admit they're wrong is the defining characteristic of Karens. Full disclosure, I'm the son of a Karen, but she spelled it differently, which either makes her more or less of a Karen. I'm not quite sure of the rules. There is a pervasive stereotype that autistics don't like hugs, but many of us do enjoy hugs. I fucking love them. Full hugs, side hugs. I lift you, you lift me, if you're brave. The last time I talked about loving hugs on stage, I went out to the greeting line to find a half dozen women just waiting to give me hugs because I had moved them so much. So there is a pervasive stereotype that autistics don't like having sex after performing comedy. I mean, just because I delivered that as a joke doesn't mean it's not true. I mean, because sex and romance are usually handled with either subtle social cues or bold, unexpected moves, it is very difficult for me to navigate true intimacy. But hey, if you're interested in that with me, just tell me what you would like to do with your genitals, what you'd like me to do with my genitals, and then give me the option to say, no, thanks. It's a lot easier than judging my dating worth by whether or not I understand your preferred romantic social conventions. As you can probably guess, it can get a little lonely, but one of the nice things about my brand of autism is I'm fine just relying on porn and my own personal talents. It's one of the safest and healthiest sex options for people who struggle with social interactions. until you try to pay for your online porn account and your credit card company calls you with an emergency fraud alert while you're trying to masturbate. There was a lot of anger, frustration, and words neither I or the bank fraud alert operator actually meant. But we got through it. We found an understanding. You know, I didn't appreciate being interrupted, and he didn't appreciate me asking him to keep talking until I finished. You live and learn. And that's what I got.
All right, Jeremy.
The Karens was good. I like that. Everybody loves Karens. And then you said your mom's a Karen. That was fucking hilarious. And then at the end, masturbating. Of course, it's safe. You don't have to wear a condom with yourself. You know where you've been. You've probably went with Kelso on an STI vacation day and had the test together. I don't know, but if my group of friends are like, no, I'm not going. But yeah, good job.
Thanks.
Jim Bob.
I liked it. I don't really know. Really notes down. It was good.
No note. Okay, good. So I really liked it too. I thought I only had one note. When the operator called you for the fraudulent card, sure. When you got called with the fraudulent card charges, and because he interrupted and you like and I was upset because nobody's that coordinated, you know, to be on the phone. And that's all I had, man. I thought it was well done. Jordy.
I loved it, and I love the whole thing of taking on the myths of autism and so on. And I love the whole direct thing about sex, especially, you know, sort of a sex after comedy, that sort of stuff there, and your mom being a Karen and so on. There is in Montreal there's a comedian who's on the spectrum, and he has this he has a comedy show called the Spectrum Comedy, I think it's called. So I don't think he doesn't address this being autistic the way you do. You know, it's more sort of I love the way you do it. You do it in such a way that sort of really gets people thinking, and it's funny at the same time. And I think you break down stereotypes, and at the same time you make us laugh. I love that. I absolutely love that. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Kelso, you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Love the Karen bit. Everyone loves a good Karen. I wonder. When I really loved when you said that the last time that you mentioned that you liked hugs, that there was like 11 people outside waiting for hugs. I wonder if you can slip just a quick line in there that's like, so I'm never taking this joke out of the set. Because I really like that. And then you go straight into that autistic individuals don't like having sex after a show. And then you bring it back again and you say, just because I said it doesn't mean that it's like not true or true. It was really playful. I really enjoyed it.
Good deal. Everybody give it up for Joe. All right, Jeremy, you have the stage.
Okay. I wrote down all of the jokes that are bad, so I've got 3 hours of time. You guys stop me when you've had enough.
Okay, 7 minutes. Go ahead.
So no. So before COVID, or like when COVID started here in Vietnam, I looked over and my coworker says, "Hey man, if the boss don't let us go home, I'm gonna burn this building down." And the other coworker looks over and he says, "Meow." And this is the first time I realized that my coworkers were both cats. I work from home, guys. So I was concerned. I talked with the cat. His name's Frank, right? Frank, he's a cool cat, but he's also not so there in the head. Like, he works a basic data entry position in my company, and the job's so easy a cat can do it, right? But Frank, he's been sneaking out of work, and he's been hooking up with this Vietnamese cat that lives in my neighborhood. And she has already 2 kittens from a previous engagement. But Frank, he doesn't know about sex because he's been fixed since birth. And we've never had the sex talk with Frank. So, like, he thinks these 2 kittens are his. So he got this data entry job so that he could send these kittens to college. So, I mean, like, it's a stand-up guy, Frank is. But, like, I just want to tell him, hey, Frank, you're a cat, dude. You don't need a job. But somehow this Vietnamese cat got into his head, and like he snuck out. He's been living. He doesn't come home anymore. Like, he's staying at her house. I seen we posted a reward ad for him, and like he covered it up like with a rap album, straight from the streets. Frank the Cat coming soon. Like, he's producing a rap album, guys. I never knew that Frank was a rapper, but it's good to see that he's moving up. I don't know where that was going. It was better when I wrote it before. You guys know there's 9 types of intelligence. Like, typically, it's hard to find one type of intelligence, but there's actually 9. When I moved to Vietnam, the company was like, we want to pay you in a bag of dicks. And I'm like, what do you mean a bag of dicks? And they're like, well, our money is called the dong. So you're getting a bag of dong. You guys ever play badminton? It's a sport where you hit a shuttlecock back and forth with a racket. Being in Asia, it gives me the opportunity to play badminton with a fish. My best friend, he's a fish, and we play badminton together. That's right, guys. My dad had this saying whenever I was a kid. He said, do it like a man. And so everything, you know, like play football like a man, exercise, mow the grass like a man. So like whenever I got older, just a couple weeks ago on my birthday, my best friend bought me a birthday cake. It was actually birthday cupcakes. But the icing on the top of it was a penis. So it was kind of like a penis cake. And then I was eating them, and I just hear in the back of my head, my dad, he said, you eat those penis cakes like a man. So great, Dad. Thank you. And then you guys know about fish oil. Fish oil is like something used for cooking a lot in Asia. And like, I don't like it. It smells funny. But you know how they make fish oil? They take a fish and they like actually wring the oil out of the fish to make fish oil. And then that got me thinking about baby oil, guys. Like, all right, thanks. That's all I got.
Jim Bob?
Ooh, and hot tea. I liked it. I always like baby jokes. The deader the baby, the better the joke.
The deader the baby, the better the. It's like a poetic over here.
So I like the joke about the cat with the job because the Vietnamese cat with the kittens and he doesn't know any better. I like that. It's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't said that in a while, so like I think I didn't say some of the punchlines that I have for that, and I said some stuff that probably didn't need to be said. But yeah, that cat, he really doesn't come home. He's gone now. Like, but we don't know what happened to him.
So I liked how you started out with your coworker said he's gonna burn his house down. He looked at the other coworker and he said meow. Like, for some reason, I don't know, that just tickles me.
Well, I've tried to tell the story where I didn't reveal until the end that Frank was a cat, but I feel that I kind of lose people, so I reveal it in the beginning and then remind you at the end, I guess.
Right. And then you talked about him being a rapper. Frank is a rapper, but you didn't tell us what that rap name is. So, like, instead of like 2 Chainz or something like that, it could be 9 Lives.
MC Cat.
Yeah, and what's some of his songs like? He was going to use "Here Kitty Kitty," but it was obviously taken by Joe Exotic. But he does have "Homie
What did
Meow."
you say, MC Axe? Like MC Axe?
Huh? MC Cat. That's what she said.
Oh, MC
No,
Cat.
MCAT.
Right.
MC Cat.
Oh yeah. One of his other songs is called "Homie Meow." Don't believe me. I'm sorry. And
Okay,
Red got
so
fur, I don't know.
go more into his rapping career. All right.
Yeah, I think it's funny.
Like,
But I like dad jokes, so I think it's funny.
Yeah,
you
like
also-
perfect. Like one of his jokes is or one of his raps is called perfect.
And like if you had a song about like if you think about some songs that have house in it, you could turn it into mouse, or something like that.
Mhm.
And also you I don't know. You said something about fish oil, and you was like, and it smells funny. And I think it would have been a perfect time to say, and it smells funny because it's made of fish. I don't know.
I don't think it really is anything to do with fish, but I don't know. Maybe.
Anyway, go ahead, Wardy.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot to mention about the other cat. The other cat in the house, he like just hisses orders at Frank all day long. His name's Chairman Meow, but he's more like Chairman Mao. Like he speaks Cantonese and all of this shit. Yeah. So there's some of it that got left out, but that was it. I don't know. I'm not gonna keep looking.
Wardy.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed the whole cat thing, especially with Frank never getting the sex talk and that sort of stuff. I think that was really funny. I didn't really get the fish playing badminton with the fish. I think that
that's just a funny thought that I had, so I expanded it into that story.
Yeah, I think if you in the same set, I wouldn't do Frank and playing badminton with the fish, right? And so it's too much of the same thing. But I absolutely loved.
Oh, you mean like what's that called? Where you make an animal or you make something into a human? Yeah.
Anthropomorphize or something. But your ending about the fish oil and baby oil, that was a classic, absolute classic. I love that one. I think that's fantastic.
Thanks.
It's going back to the soft spot, to Lance the soft spot. It's just, I think those sort of jokes are just so funny. Anyway.
So?
Yes. You're a gem, Jeremy. I think I've heard the cat one being played around with before, maybe. But I like I liked it. I like that you changed it to the beginning to say that your coworker was a cat. I work from home, guys.
Okay,
I wonder if there's, I don't know, but I wonder if there's room to maybe at the end, the house can get burned down because the cat found out they were like being cheated on or something, or like the cat found another cat. I don't know. Like, I wonder if the cat could burn down your house. Like,
well, I mean, if he can have a rap video, he can burn down a house.
Do whatever that cat wants. I do, and also I know this is later, but that cat knees joke is really good. General Mao.
General Mao, yeah. No, he's really a dick. Like that's what these scratches on my hand are from. I try to love him every day, and he fucks me up.
But always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Nope.
I really love that you do mention at the top that your coworker is a cat, because whether you intended to or not, you're really playing with the base components of comedy there, because you are doing the kind of joke that it seems like it didn't land, and then it's even funnier when you have to, in this joke, you have to explain this joke for it to be funny, which is already a version of what comedy is. And then you turn it from a little throwaway subversion joke into an absurd spectacle joke. Very much like those classic jokes where it's just the longest setup for a disappointing punchline. But you've even started that because you've told us the punchline ahead of time, and you are still telling this ridiculously long story about your cat being in a terrible relationship. And it's just absurd and fun and stupid, and you are completely aware of it the whole time, which like increases all of the fun.
All right, that's good. I like that. Thank you.
All right, everybody, get up for Jeremy. Good. Jim Bob, the floor is yours.
All right. So it's been a little while. I'm still piecing together my act. This is the act without a few jokes I want to throw in there because I already told them. You'll have to forgive me over my use of my notes. I have goldfish cracker memory. It's like goldfish memory, except goldfish have 3-second memory and I have none unless I take notes. And it's been a little while since I've performed due to the pandemic. I took a break from sarcastically responding to the old white guys on my Facebook with art classes. I found one that intrigued me called sequin caricatures, where you learn how to draw people in sequins. Has anyone here ever gotten a caricature done on vacation or something?
Yeah.
If you have, Kelso? Okay, cool.
Yes.
So I'm going to draw you in this sequin book. So it's going to take me a few seconds. It's the quick art of sequin caricatures, okay? It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Just gonna take a second here. Yeah, give me the best look you can. All right. Let's take one more second here. Let's fix the hair. All right, are you ready to see what I got here?
Yeah.
All right. What do you think? Does it look like that? I mean, let me go back to the page. All right. So I'm just kidding. I spent as much time learning to do sequin caricatures as I did on caring about the apparent protein spikes that I'm shedding due to getting the vaccine. I don't know. The joke's mostly me drawing as a dick. I've recently changed career paths after ruling out artist, of course. I used to work for Amazon, and I tell you this, the only way they'd listen to the associate concerns would be if we had Alexis. For the first time in 3 years, I feel like a load has been lifted off my shoulders and onto someone else's because I got tired of being nickel and dimed by $1 billion company and quit. I needed a job with more growth potential, so now I work in the cannabis industry. Get it? You know, I'm getting to the age where I should be worried about losing my memory. Instead, since I don't have kids, I'm more concerned about losing my video game memory instead of forgetting my kids in a hot car. That's all I've got for that.
So the only thing I put down was you can never have enough dick jokes. So that's good. That's funny. Wardy.
Oh, I love that sketch in the beginning. That was very funny and unexpected. I love the. I think there's lots more that you could kick at Amazon. You know, but I didn't get what you said when the only way Amazon will listen is what? What was that?
If we had Alexas. So like
Alexa's like Siri.
Oh, Alexis. Okay, yeah. Okay, great.
I think that took a little while to set in. So I think that you meant like that they're listening to all Alexas. So they're listening to what's going on in your house all the time. So they hear what.
Yeah. So they'd be able to hear us bitching about the job instead of ignoring us at work.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's good. It just needs. I think that maybe for someone as thick as me, that's not. It doesn't. It needs a little bit of elaborating on that.
Yeah,
but
it's a work in progress. I know I have a lot more Amazon jokes.
And there was that Union Drive in where was that? Was it
Alabama.
Texas? Alabama, yeah. There might be some meat in that one as well, but I love you're looking for growth potential in your next job. That was
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
I told
That's
that in the interview. I even told them I'd give them 420%, and they still hired me.
They'd obviously been smoking as well.
Yeah, it was Bob Marley's birthday. I forget. I don't even know anymore. Hitler's birthday.
It's Hitler's birthday. It was Columbine.
There is a legend that there was a specific group of smoker like classmates who would meet to smoke after detention every day, and detention got out at 4:20 p.m.
Yeah.
That is the
I
legend
think
of
the
the
detention got out at 4 p.m. and they were able to make it across the street where they could smoke in 20 minutes. Like, I remember my high school when I was a kid had like a convenience shop down the street. You go buy a soda and then you can come back and like everybody would be gone from the school and we could skateboard there. And so that would be, about that time. We'd also smoke weed while we were off the school grounds so that we didn't get in trouble while on school grounds.
420 used to be really big here in Ottawa. They would have, on Parliament Hill on the 20th of April, people would be crowded on there smoking and pushing for, legalization. And now it's legal, but people still celebrate 420 for some reason.
Kelso, you got anything?
Oh yeah, I liked. That might even be playful to put in that 420%, or like they told you that they would take 420% and you still took the job or something like that. But the growth industry, looking for a job for more growth. I really like that. The sketch was really good. The line about giving up as an artist, I really like that. At the end you said worried about my memory, and so I wonder if there's room to tag back to your goldfish cracker joke, because you have two memories now. I don't know what that would look like, but you could maybe mention the goldfish thing again in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, I really liked it.
Good deal. Joe?
I, like everyone else, I love the sequin caricature thing. You could go so many ways with that. Like, it's like you invented a new like stock joke that you could have a new punchline for every different time. Like, maybe you get like a little sequin board and you have a ridiculous picture underneath and you just swipe it up and then you show what the other side is, or you start practicing other things besides dicks. There's just so many things you could do with that, and you really have something there that you could explore. I genuinely can't remember anything else you said now.
Right? Distracted by the dick block dick. I love it.
Did
You
anyone?
got a goldfish memory that's full of dicks right now. So it's dick.
Did y'all think that was going to be a dick?
No, not at all.
Okay, because I didn't either. I did not. I knew it was going to be not me. I knew it was going to be not me, but I didn't know what it was going to be. It was very surprising, and I liked it. Yeah.
I do that on stage, and I like to pick out the little blonde girls in the front of the stage.
Yes,
or
yeah.
like the guys that are acting like dicks. Like, oh yeah, no sir, I will definitely draw you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's always a dick block dick.
I don't know if it's that hidden, but the they, them, Kelso, and then the dick, I'm like, oh, wow, that's.
It worked for me for sure. So.
All right, everybody give it up for Jim Bob one last time. Good. And I guess it is my turn to go. So some of this stuff is old, some of it's new, some of it I'm just developing, so we'll see how it goes. It won't take you long to hear my accent and figure out that I'm from the country. But let me dispel any rumors you might have about me. I can read, I wear shoes, and I don't fuck my sister anymore. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. I definitely fuck my sister. No, my favorite part about that joke is I don't even have a sister, just a very nervous younger brother. My mom is 65 years old, and she just started texting, and she thinks she can abbreviate everything. And so I was at the store the other day, and you need to understand where I live. I live in Appalachia. Like, I can go for months and never see another person of another skin color forever, right? So I'm at the store the other day, and my mom texted me. She was like, "Hey, JD, where you at?" I was like, "Mom, I'm at the IGA, you know." She's like, "I need you to pick me up a BBC." And I was like, "Mom, I don't know what you think. You're a BBC. I don't think, but it's definitely not whatever you think it is." And she was like, "No, they're definitely down there. I seen it. I seen it over there by the lettuce last week. There was definitely a BBC over there." And I was like, "Mom, what do you think a BBC is?" She goes, "I need a bag of baby carrots right now for this roast." Oh, but my mom, she's the best. This has been a crazy year. Christmas was way different this year, but she always does a good job of getting us all Christmas gifts. This year, she got my older brother a Snuggie, which was a really cool gift. She got me a pair of bourbon glasses, some Glencairn bourbon glasses, and I opened them up. My stepsister was like, "Your mom thinks you're an alcoholic," and she started laughing at me. But then she opened up her gift, and it was a gift certificate for Botox. And I was like, "She may think I'm an alcoholic, but she thinks you're fucking ugly." Oh, I'm also a single dad. I've been going through a terrible child custody battle for a few years now. My kids, I got 3 kids. Like I said, I've been terrible child custody battle over them. I ended up losing, and so now I've got the kids. My oldest son actually had a really rough year. He just now found out it's weird being a dad. First off, right? Like you have all these expectations for your children. You see them go through all these phases, take their first steps, say their first words. This year, my oldest son found out there was no Santa Claus, but he's 19, so fucking. Oh,
He's not.
I said, "Can you hear me?"
Can you say it again?
I said, "It's weird being a dad. You have your kid goes through his first steps, his first day of school. This year he found out there was no Santa Claus, but he's 19, so fucking he'd be all right." My daughter's 15, and now she's talking in emojis. I don't know if y'all experienced this or not, but I took her to school shopping. She was like, "Oh, Dad, I heart this shirt. I heart this skirt. I heart this dress." So we sat down for lunch, and there's a cute little waitress walked by. I was like, "Hey, Haley, I like to eggplant that waitress right there." I'm about to wrap it up. I'm going to leave y'all with the last piece of advice I can give you all. It's something I've learned over the years, being single, just living life. If somebody says, "I don't mean to be racist," they're about to say something fucking racist.
Yeah.
And if someone says, "With all due respect," they're about to say something disrespectful. And if a woman says, "Do you have Snapchat?" you're about to see some titties. That's all I got. That's it. All right, Wardy.
I love that bit on the custody battle, and your mom sounds great. I think that there's a gold mine there. The only problem I had was you tended to laugh your punchline.
Yeah.
And I couldn't hear it.
Right.
So I think you swallowed the punchline in a lot of your in a number of those jokes. And I think if you can hold back on that, then it'd be easier for people to hear. But maybe it's just me being an old fart. But I do think that's it. I would try and change that. But there's a gold mine there. I think on your mom sounds just wonderful, and your stuff on having kids in the custody battle, that's just great.
Thank you. Kelso?
Yeah, I really liked the custody battle. Very unexpected. I was like, because you brought us in this like emotional direction, and I was like, oh, that you got the kids and you lost. I thought that was really good. I think the Santa Claus line works. It's just quicker. So if it's like you get their first steps. Yeah, I don't know. Their first steps, their first words. And my kid just found out Santa Claus isn't real. He's 19.
Yeah.
And then maybe just like I wonder if there's room for like one where you have to get the presents from now or something. Because like Santa's been delivering them this whole time.
Yeah.
And then maybe him being like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Also, I think it's funny that your mom got someone a Snuggie, right? Like a Snuggie, the blanket.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that's funny because she's 65, and Snuggies are actually kind of behind the times now. Like they came out like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. So she's like also behind on the trends. Like, I got a Snuggie. It's this new thing. And you're like,
no,
okay.
really.
Yeah. I think that's kind of funny. But she sounds like a lovely woman.
What did y'all think about the fucking your sister thing? Was that shit funny or no?
That's funny.
Well, it's you have, I'll go right into mine, but you have a really good way of what seems like a stock joke, not necessarily like an easy joke, but like when you're familiar with like that format of like the I had a rough custody battle for my kids, like, okay, the subversion is probably going to be that he had to keep them, but then I also knew that like, oh, he wouldn't set that up if he didn't have more to say about that. And stock jokes are great, like that you always feel like when you add a little bit to an act of like, oh, I'm repeating a joke, someone's going to figure it out, but like you're going a little bit further with yours of like with the sister thing of I don't even have a sister, but I've got a very nervous little brother. That was
great.
That was such a great way. I have a question for Wardy, because I was watching you when he was starting to talk about the BBC. Did you understand what he meant by BBC in that context?
I missed the fair bit. No, you mean the British Broadcasting Corporation? I don't know what. I don't remember that joke at all.
So I was watching.
Or you're talking about the porn version of BBC? Yes. Okay. Yeah. I didn't hear that joke, but I know what a BBC is. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad we cleared that up, guys. That's the focal point.
Yeah. Jim Bob, was you done, Joe?
I really liked the bag of baby carrots joke. Also, the eggplant joke. That's good, according to my notes I took. I liked it. It was nice. It had a lot of Southern charm. And
all right, I'll take that. Jeremy?
No, I agree. Good job. I was captivated in the story, and also I had bad internet problems, but I heard most of it, and I'd say it was pretty good. Like the sister thing, you said that. Everything that we've already talked about. Yeah, good job.
All right, appreciate you guys. Appreciate your feedback. Appreciate you taking the time. We went long, but I'd rather go long and do it right. I'll just rushing through this thing. I'm gonna let everybody go around and plug their social media or anything they've got going on, shows or anything, and then we'll wrap this thing out. Wardy?
I got nothing to say for sure.
No plugs. All right. Kelso?
Well, I just put my Instagram in this little chat. If you want to follow me on Insta, and I'll follow you on Insta. But I got no plugs. We are in. We're actually in lockdown in Vietnam. So,
Cool.
my haven.
Joe?
I'm only just now starting to get into social media because I hate it, but I have to do it for programs I'm getting into. But you can just look me up, Joe Harmon. Look up the Steel City Arts Foundation, steelcityaf.com. That's what I'll be doing for the next 9 months. So it'll probably be a good place to find a lot of what I do in the near future.
Cool. Jim Bob?
You can find me at JenBobX. I still can't really, it's down right there, I think. There we go. I'm still working on it. This is my second show today, and I'm like, it's somewhere down there. So Instagram, Twitter, might be my Facebook, definitely my PlayStation. And if anybody's looking for me, I'll be playing PlayStation 5 until I start my new job.
Nice. Jeremy?
I put mine in the chat box as well. Instagram, Twitter. We're on lockdown. I do some lockdown shows, but nothing really in the future that I can remember. But lots of different things. Nothing really.
Okay. My big thing is my podcast, Just Add Bourbon Podcast. There's three of us, going to be three of us now. We're bringing on a female to round out the table. She's going to be the right-wing conservative. I'm going to be the liberal, and we debate politics. We talk pop culture. We talk local events. We talk national politics, all that stuff. It's really cool. We're in like 15 countries. We're like 48 states, something like that. So if you guys feel like giving it a follow, then do that. I'm on Facebook, and I'm also on Instagram. And I'm on the Comedy Workshop every Tuesday. So I appreciate everybody. Hope everybody enjoyed themselves and got some good feedback. Everybody, see you guys. Everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Later.
Bye.